Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. We're here for another fun episode, and this is going to be really fun because this is about what kids love and many adults love. A lot of men that I know love peanut butter. My dad loved peanut butter. So we're celebrating September 13th, this National Peanut Butter Day. It's also National Get Your Kids into the Kitchen Day. You know I am all about taking back the power to your health and getting back into the kitchen, owning the quality of what you are making, getting connected to the food. So yes, my name is Kimberly Knox, and I am a passionate, integrative, and functional health coach where we're getting to the root cause of disease. And that is what food is so important. We found it so important to our health. I'm an author and an educator. So I've created a book called Simple Cooking for Vitality. If you're interested, you can see it in the notes. And this is part of my education give back, just inspiring people as you age to age with vitality, simple cooking. It's very, very simple. We're just using real ingredients, only 5 ingredients today. So peanut butter, yes, peanut butter is really important. And I take people to the grocery store and I help them read labels. It's really good to first start at a grocery store that's making a commitment to removing the majority of chemicals. So yes, I do love Whole Foods for that reason. There are some other ones too. You want to look, Whole Foods is large now, so they're going to have competitive pricing, but you got to read the labels. If you can't see, bring your readers. This is a peanut butter that I love for parents and kids. It's got the little raccoon on there. It's adorable. It's made with just one ingredient. That's all you want. Organic peanuts. That is it. This is a worker owned business. I really, really love them. And so a lot of the peanut butter now in the 60s, 70s, when I grew up, the late 70s is when high fructose corn syrup came in. And a lot more of the soybean and palm oils, things like that, those seed oils that are highly processed, toxic to your cells, and highly inflammatory. Those are being stuck into peanut butter, especially if you get one that's called no stir. And yes, trust me, there are still brands at Whole Foods you should never buy. No palm oil, and that's added into many of them. Nothing else added in, no sugar. So of course, in my household, it was Jif. Jif today is not the same Jif as it was in the 1960s and late 60s, 70s. You got to read the label, spend a little money. Your children's health is worth it. Your health is worth it. If you really want to splurge, I keep this from Glacier Farms in Miami, organic peanut butter, raw. I keep it in the refrigerator. So this is for little special. Maybe I'm doing a special gluten-free millet toast occasionally that I have with it. But we're going to make this today with this peanut butter. And fantastic. So we're just using nutrient dense food to shift the experience. Now your kids can have fun with this. Get some small bowls, like split the recipe. So I have tested out, you can Google this recipe. There's going to be lots of them out there. You want it as simple as possible for kids. And I have made this before in a food processor, which I love. Just press the button. If the kids are older, it's easier, but little kids, this is how I started making cookies. I didn't have any other type of material. I just use a spoon and a bowl, and that's what you want them to start with. It's going to be really easy, 5 simple ingredients. And we're going to have some alterations today. We're going to talk about for adults you can put in to get more different forms of protein. So let's get started. I'm just going to make a smaller recipe so you can split this if you have 2 kids doing it. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. We're going to use chocolate chips. Now, chocolate chips are important because the ingredients in many chocolate chips are no good. I buy, you've seen these before, the Pasha brand, 100% raw cacao, no sugar added. Why does it make a difference? Because you're putting these chips in something that are sweet. So you want the pop of the raw chocolate that inspires the dopamine. It gives you the taste of raw bitter chocolate, but this brand also has a dark chocolate. So it's going to be better and cleaner. But for adults, this one is the best. You've got no lecithins added, no other sugar added. You don't notice the difference. You get a pop of dopamine and serotonin from that chocolate. That's what you're looking for when you're craving chocolate. It's a mood alterer. And you're also getting the raw cacao, which is all the nutrients that cacao provides before they process it and turn it into useless cocoa. So very, very good. So we're going to use a half a cup. Now, simple measures with the kids, just get them used to measuring out in simple. It's better to have these metal ones than plastic. And these are really great. I believe it's OXO brand. They all stick together with little magnets. So get yourself some good, not plastic ones, nice and sturdy ones. Make sure that you have. So we're just going to put a half a cup in here. I always, when I get this brand, I stir it all up. There's not much oil on the top when you get this one. It's really a great quality. There are several brands. I'm not going to rat them all out, but if you read the ingredients on the back, you don't want to be involved with that. You don't want to inflame your cells. The reason is because you don't feel the inflammation, but it disrupts your body's performance, your cellular performance. They cannot get the messages that they need. This is what's causing disruption, and you don't feel it. If we could feel ourselves, we would do half the things or eat half the things that we have or do now. So have one of these little spatulas handy and just let them use it. And also get your kids fun aprons so they can put on their apron and get used to it, covering up their clothes, having fun. This allows them control to make their own healthier snacks. And you can help educate them on why they're putting in certain things while you're helping them select peanut butter that doesn't have inflammatory ingredients. So their brains feel better, their bodies feel better. This explanation will be interesting to kids because I've talked to kids and I've cooked with families with kids, and they actually like to learn different things. So the next thing that we're going to be putting in, do not put in too much honey. A lot of the recipes have too much honey. You don't actually need that much. Now, there's going to be different types of honey. I actually use the Winter Park. This is a Florida honey. Winter Park buckwheat honey. High antioxidants. It's similar to Manuka honey. And another choice would be this raw honey. All you're going to need in here is 1 tablespoon. This is going to be easier for them to squeeze. So all they'd have to do is squeeze it into here. And you know they're going to put their finger in things and they're going to have fun. And that's all part of this. It's part of the experience, part of the excitement. When I was little, I used to love to make cookies. I made a lot of cookies. I brought them to school and I gave them to my friends. That's all part of it. I'm not going to use my finger in front of you, but if I was here, you can. This is what the fun is. Okay. Next up, oats. So there's a big difference with oats. You know, I use 1 degree. This is from Farmers We Trust. This is certified gluten-free, glyphosate-free. These are important because they're not all. Quaker oats are not created equal. These oats are fantastic. These are sprouted rolled oats. Big difference. Now, if I have my food processor and you've seen me use the oats, I use them in my overnight oats. I've used them in muffins and different breakfast cookies. These oats are the best. These are the only ones that I use yet. Make sure you have containers. Having things in glass jars instead of bags that will fly all over the place, open up and get, that's what you don't want. My cupboards over there are all organized and it's really fantastic to do. You're going to use a 1/4 cup of these rolled oats. So we're just adding all of this and then we're going to mix it up. If you like a little bit more oats, you can put in a little bit more. So all you need is a 1/4 cup. We're also using a 1/4 cup of fresh ground flaxseed. So I buy the raw flaxseed. It's in here. I grind it in my coffee grinder. And then when you smell it, the smell of the fresh ground, the nutrients pop right out. So when you're buying pre-ground, you're not getting the same amount of energetic nutrients. Big difference. Now you need this. Why? Fiber, fantastic amount of fiber, and omega-3, ALA omega-3, plant-based omega-3s, great for the brain, and all omega-3s help to reduce inflammation. The other omega-3s come from fatty fish. Those are the other type. So let's just fill up this little doodad here. I have a little scooper in all my jars. Doesn't have to be perfectly rounded. That's the other thing. You can't screw this recipe up. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be hanging over them, measuring it perfectly. This is a creative project for your kids. Plus it tastes amazing. Okay. So what did I forget? Flax, oats, honey. Oh, okay. Chips. I didn't put in the chips yet, but we're going to be using the Pasha brand, just a tablespoon of these Pasha brand chips, 2 tablespoons of the, these are raw chips. When I'm fasting, these won't break your fast. So if you just want to like pop of raw chocolate, these are fantastic. So 2 tablespoons is half a quarter of a cup here. So let's just do that, add those in. Now, if you do get the other chips for your kids, they do make a dark version of the Pasha brand. They make a milk chocolate, but you don't need that much extra sugar because the sugar is going to come from the other stuff. And regular honey is much sweeter than this. This has a massive amount of antioxidants. So that's why I love it. I keep it. I buy it. I always have that on hand. So now all they have to do is mix this up. The honey is going to help to make the peanut butter stickier. There's a little chemical reaction that happens between the oil and the honey. All right, so this is going to help them to learn to use the bowl, use the back of the spoon, and stir this up. This is how I learned when I was a little girl, in a bowl about this big, or even one that's smaller. You can make it smaller. They can just make less amounts, but it gives them their own bowl. So they're not sharing a bowl with their brother or sister. So it's more fun. So you see how this is already turning where it's not sticking to the side and it's turning into something that you can make into balls. It's already ready to go. That's how easy this is. So they can just roll it into any little size they want. There's no right or wrong with this. That's what's so fun. Now, another thing they can add if they really like peanuts, I keep a jar of, these are just raw peanuts. Nothing added, just raw peanuts in here, shelled raw peanuts. So just put them in a little tiny baggie. And I always have a meat mallet around. These are really good. And just show them this is very safe. You can just pound this out. When I was growing up, we had an old-fashioned glass with a thing on the top that made our nuts. It crushed up the nuts. I mean, it was an antique. So if you like nuts that are, if you like this crunchy, add more peanuts. Peanuts, a quarter cup is, I believe, about 10 grams of protein. So peanut butter does have a good amount of protein. Now, for adults to get more protein, this is amino acids, guy. It's amino acids are the building blocks, but there's different forms. Pumpkin seeds are ridiculously fantastic amounts of amino acids, clean, alkalized, delicious. All of the meat protein, animal protein is acid forming. Pumpkin seed protein is alkaline. So when you want a snack, that's what pumpkin seeds with the zinc, with the selenium, very, very good. Now, as an adult, you can add something to this. This is ready for the kids, ready to go. Roll it into balls. Here's some options for adults. MCT oil, you've heard of it. MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. When you're fasting, your body's going to get the it's got to understand, it's got to burn fat for fuel. So this type of fat is able to be converted into fuel. It's able to be communicate with the brain when you're not getting so much glucose. There's a whole thing going on. You to retrain that lazy body into burning fat for fuel, going into all your fat stores. We all have plenty of it. This Nutiva brand. One second, I'm gonna go water. Oh gosh, sometimes when you're talking, you just need a drink of water. So at least a tablespoon you could add to this amount of mix, and then add in. I'm gonna add some. I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon. Now, Truvani, I love Food Babe. She was one of our lecturers in school. The same time I came out with my cookbook, she came out with her first cookbook. Of course, I bought her cookbook. I support her. She is a person that goes after corporations, exposes the toxins that are in the food and more. She is all over social media and letting us know, educating us. I love her drive and ambition for that. She then came out with Food Babe Family after she had her daughter and her son. This is fantastic. If you have family and kids, get this book. I love this book. It's fun. I don't have kids anymore, but it's really fun. And I look at it for recipes. I'm not cooking anymore for a family with kids, but this is fantastic. It's interesting. Most of my clients are actually they're over 55 and they have metabolic issues. So that's pretty common, right? But kids want to have fun and do different kind of things. So here, so just add in 1 or 2 tablespoons of this, and you're going to be adding in another about 10 grams of protein. So all of her protein powders, you can get them at Whole Foods now. Sprouts carries them, Earth Origin carries them, many different. You can get them online. This is the peanut butter one, and there's only 6 ingredients, so she's very particular. I just don't like too much added in. I just like the real stuff here. So add in a little bit of coconut oil and this protein powder because it's going to dry it out a little bit. And then just like we did before, just use the back of your spoon and just mix this up. And that way, as adults, you can get a little bit more protein in there. You don't want a lot of powdered stuff for the kids. It flies all over the place. Now, for the kids, or for the adults, instead of adding the plant-based protein powder, you can add a scoop of pumpkin seeds. Okay. I'm out because I've been using it a lot, but I grind up raw pumpkin seeds in the same coffee grinder, and I keep a jar of them. I'll add them to a green smoothie, I'll add them to a smoothie. 1/4 cup adds 10 grams of very clean amino acids. Not to mention all the other nutrients, minerals, and vitamins and minerals. And those are micronutrients that our body needs. Our cells need the tools to do the job they know how to do. Trust me, our bodies are really smart. They've just been overworked by a lot of not so good things that are toxic and impeding their ability to do their job. So here we have a ball. So this is fun. This is like Play-Doh for kids. Okay, so now you're just gonna pinch off some. You could roll it into a ball and just put these into glass containers or little smaller containers, and then you have them to go. I keep them in the refrigerator, and you can freeze them. If you're not gonna eat them all and you're worried about them sitting in the refrigerator, freeze them in little containers. They make little glass containers with lids. You can put 3 in each container. I often keep little desserts in my freezer, and I just put them in the fridge, and then I have it ready to go. So these are fun and they're easy. And I've already had some because I was testing the recipe, but who doesn't love really good peanut butter? Okay, unless you're allergic to peanut butter. And by the way, that was the only allergy we'd ever heard of when we were growing up, is one of our neighbors was allergic to peanut butter. And yes, it's a common nut allergy. So in that case, you could use almond butter. However, we're talking about peanut butter. It is National Peanut Butter Day. So that's fun. So thanks for joining me, guys. And if you love this, just give me a thumbs up. And I'm trying to grow my channel just for the exposure and inspiring people. So if you subscribe, that would be fantastic. Share these videos if you think there's somebody that would love to see them. But thank you for tuning in to my kitchen. It's all about vitality, clean, organic, real food, helping you take control of your health.